by and large, Nigerian populace is still extremely undereducated as far as like politics and like how government works, what it is, who's responsible for what, who they can hold accountable for what. Like everybody just talks president. But like, see, if you go and vote for your local government chairman. Sup, people. What's
Hi,
happening?
everyone.
Kilo Shele, Kilo Happen. Hope you're doing okay. Welcome to the Shrine Podcast, the show where we talk about music, pop culture, technology, and lifestyle from our lens as young Nigerians by the way of Canada, in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Welcome to the show, guys. Thank you for joining us. We're recording on a Saturday for a change, right? Mm-hmm. Right? On a pretty cloudy, actually not cloudy, sunny. On a sunny Saturday afternoon from Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome. My name is Akindare, your co-host, and with me on the show today is
Jemima.
What's that? Like last episode where you're okay.
I came with the ginger. It's Jemima. Thank you for tuning into the show, guys. Like this is a radio station. Wow. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Yes.
This is Jemima.
She's Jemima.
Yeah.
Yes, actually I said the last 4 times. Anyways, how are you doing? How was your week?
I'm good. You know what? Let me not start talking about my week now because it's also going to enter what we want to talk about today. So I will just leave that. But let's just say my week was okay. We thank God for life. At least I'm here. Here I am. I'm still standing. I'm here. So that's all I will say. How was yours?
Here I am.
Bro, the things Nigeria will do to you,
I
my
made
G.
I made it. Last weekend, I queued for over 6 hours for film. So, you know, I'm alive. I made it. Nigeria threw a lot of things at me. Nigeria came at me hard.
Oh my God.
I made it.
You made it.
So yeah, the week was just there, to be honest. But we made it. We are here. I'm grateful for that. Well, as we record this, you know, I have plans later on at night. Okay. So later on.
Okay.
At night.
Oh, okay. It wasn't clear. So, what are you saying?
Only like tone it here.
You open your mouth and talk.
You know that sometimes the accents usually do jump out. So you need to be ready for it.
I say it is son.
Okay.
That's when I say it.
So yeah, that was my week. What do we have on the menu today?
Today you have to choose your fighter. You just have to choose your fighter. You know, is it Naira?
What is
it? Phil? Or is it Q? Who's your fighter?
I feel like both Naira and Phil both come with Qs. See what I did there? Is that
Naira,
Phil,
Qs.
Both
okay,
Naira
okay,
and Phil come with Qs.
Olamide Bado.
Buhari could have written that by himself. I'm telling you. So basically, today on the menu is Nigeria's problem.
Yes.
Basically. We
like
just want
the ones that we can see, the top ones that are on top of the table.
The one that is pinching
because
everybody
Nigeria
right
has
now.
a lot of problems.
Okay. Yes, that's true.
So the one that is
currently strangling us is the one that I want to talk about.
It choke.
All right. Where do we start from now?
Let's start from fear scarcity.
Okay. And the way I want to start from this is, please, if you can explain to me, like I am 12 years old, why this fuel scarcity exists or has persisted since at least September 2022. Please, either send us a DM or send us an email, theshrinepodcast@gmail.com, because I do not fucking understand it.
I have been asking.
I don't get it. They said subsidy wanted, but like they've not removed subsidy. So is it that if it's scarce, is that like a supply chain?
No, let me read what's here, right?
Okay. Okay.
This is premium times, okay? Why the fuel scarcity? They say the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, is MOMAN, has attributed the lingering fuel scarcity in the country to high cost of vessels and inadequate trucks to deliver petroleum products from depot to filling stations across Nigeria. So, high cost of vessels and inadequate trucks to deliver petroleum products from the depot to filling stations across Nigeria.
That just sounds so stupid. Because like, no be today when just they sell the fucking fuel. Like y'all did not know how many trucks. Like what do you mean?
What happened to the trucks?
Like I mean, obviously the fucking Minister of Petroleum is just out there gallivanting all over the bloody place.
Who is Minister of Petroleum?
The bloody president, which is crazy because why the fuck is he the Minister of Petroleum as well?
Oh my god.
Like,
let me tell you something. I went to Apapa to look for fuel. Like, see, me, I'm not. I like the soft life. I just want to stay at the owner's corner. I must have mentioned this one.
Based on where you be now.
I just want to sit at the back. You know, I won't press my phone and just chill. I do not like driving in Lagos for shit, all of that. But I had to go to Apapa to go and buy fuel. And it's not even as if I went there and then, the fuel was just there. I queued.
So is it like, is Apapa like somewhere that you don't go often? Like, is it just
what am I looking for in Apapa?
I don't know. So the audience still might not know. Like,
often.
maybe you live in Apapa.
I don't live in Apapa. Yeah. I live in Surulere. In fact, Surulere to Apapa is even close. Because like if you take the Eco Bridge, right?
But the point is that Apapa is not somewhere you frequent.
That's not where
you went there strictly to hunt for fuel.
When I hear Apapa, right, I think about like where trucks, ports,
container,
where containers are going.
When you hear Apapa, you're just like, shit, that my container.
I think about
Nimasa. The container where they bring my Benz based on J Benz.
You're not serious. Get out. I think about just that industrial. Like, I'm not thinking about Apapa as somewhere I want to go just because. But I had to go there to look for fuel and I queued.
I just want to apologize on behalf of Jemima, myself, and the crew of the Shrine Podcast to all of you that live in Apapa. Nothing is wrong with Apapa, okay? Jemima just does not frequent Apapa often. No shade, okay?
I swear,
because Apapa is prison.
No. Okay. For proper context, again, I don't go to Apapa often. I think about Apapa like ports, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So for me to go to Apapa
is to you what Aja is to me.
How so?
Because Aja, I just feel like waiting at the fine go Aja.
Nah, this one is a malicious one. This one is a malicious one. This is a malicious one.
I'm just like, if I meet them, I'm like, I stay in Aja. In my mind, I'm just already like, we are probably never going to see them in Aja.
Jesus.
Like, that is never going to happen.
Aja people, sorry. Sorry to you. But yeah, the point is, I had to go there and queue. Like, my waka no dey pass Surulere, you can even mainland safe. But if I go to the island, it's just for work and just for chill, right? So they pass all those places. So
for me to take a business deals,
exactly,
lock in a few $1,000s.
I wanted to say exactly.
You already said exactly. You can't take it back now. Okay,
get out. But I
went there. When you see this woman outside,
no, don't give me, because I was just talking about going to queue for fuel, right? Or fuel.
Then when?
But so the point is, I had to go queue, and it's not something
Jemima probably went to queue for fuel in Ajiwag. I'm just putting that out there.
Amen,
okay?
Amen.
I'm one of her many cars. Okay. This woman is rich. People think, okay. It sounds like I'll be whining her, but for real. Like, I'm sure that their driver was right. You should probably give her driver a day off, because life is hard in Nigeria.
Oh, you're not serious.
She was just like, let me go and see what's going on in the trenches with the masses. That's why she's like, Papa, we can't define go up. Ew.
It's because
Real Housewives of Lagos.
Oh my god.
I swear, I promise I don't even be trying. Like, I'm not even thinking about these things. It's just flowing. It's just coming to me naturally.
The point is that I had to go to Papa. Let me finish this story. I had to go to Papa, somewhere I don't go frequently to queue. And yeah, it was, and I spent a lot of money. I think I could feel my let me not go into the details of the amount, but let's just say that it was a lot of money to spend and a lot of time wasted. Like I could have been doing something else, right? I could have been working, or like I could have been sleeping. Heck, I could have been watching Netflix or something, but early momo, I go queue. Yeah, this fuel scarcity.
And this is more, by the way, like I realized that like a lot of people also listen to us like outside of Nigeria. And so, you know, when there were energy crises all around the world and like people also had to queue, so they might be thinking, oh, it's not that big a deal. But it's crazy because Nigeria is one of the largest oil producing countries in the world. So in an oil producing country, few queues is just weird. Like a bunch of people are fucked up, basically, right? But for me, my experience with this fuel situation, right? I remember in September 2022, I traveled to Accra for work. And I remember when we're coming back with my colleagues, when we come back from Accra, like, and we're at the airport and we're just like, hopefully by the time we get back to Naija, the first scarcity would have passed. Because before we traveled, there were already queues and stuff. And then we came back and there were still queues. And right now, as we are recording this, there are still fucking queues. So...
And we're recording this in February.
Yes, and exactly. So between September and February, that's September, October, November, December, January. This is the sixth month in an oil producing country that there has been fuel scarcity. Like that is bonkers to me. And after we came back from, when I got back from Accra in, was it November or early December? I forget. But either November or December, I traveled to Akure for a friend's wedding. And I remember also that like we're like on the expressway, we were like looking for like where if there were
to buy fuel.
Empty fuel stations where we could buy fuel and not queue, like in Lagos where we're coming from. Even where we all took off from on that road trip, the fuel station, there were queues, people queuing for fuel. That was there now causing traffic on the road. So all of that to like just give you like a broader context of what the situation has been like. And then also there's also the thing of like different places selling at different prices. People are buying as high as 350 Naira like per liter. That is crazy. Bro,
somebody told me that they bought for 500, 600. I'm like, what?
That is insane. Now keep in mind that in 2015, when we did Occupy Nigeria, the fuel price was what, 75 Naira? Or was it was it up to 100? I don't know. It was up to 100 Naira. In 2015, that was just what, 8 years ago.
It wasn't.
Was it 8 years? Was it 2015 they did Occupy Nigeria? No, it was not 2015.
It was 2015.
It was 2015, right? Exactly. So like in 8 years, right now the official pump price is.
Oh no, it was 2012.
2012.
Occupy Nigeria was 2012.
So that's 11 years. So in a decade.
Yeah.
We are now at the point where people are buying the same fuel for almost triple, quadruple the price.
65 Naira.
65 Naira in 2012. So in a decade,
we've gone from
the official pump price is 185 Naira. That is more than double 65 Naira. So in a decade, the cost of fuel has more than doubled.
And currently
now, some people are buying 200, 250, 300, 500, 600 Naira in some places. Like, that is insane. Like, that's absolutely crazy. Anyways, so all of that, now to my own personal lived experience, first of all, the traffic that these fuel queues are causing, insane. Which means that you spend longer on the road and burn more fuel, which then means you don't need to queue sooner than you actually need.
Bro, you're gonna off your engine as the queue, as it moves small off engine.
Now, to be honest, I'll be honest. Other than like the traffic, I have not been crazily impacted by the fuel scarcity. To be honest,
you have plug or what?
Not that I have plug, but like I don't go out too often. My commute is not super crazy. I only go to the office a few times a week.
So
I basically don't need fuel as frequently as most people. Do you get? And also, I have inverter and I don't use my generator as often as well. So I don't
Like there's no immediate need for you to.
So I don't need fuel as frequently. Or as much as most people do, right? But that being said, in a 2-week span, I had 2 like wildly opposing experiences with getting fuel. So I'd run out of fuel in the car. I went to queue for fuel the first Saturday. And I got there maybe like 6:05, 6:10 ish
in the morning.
AM in the morning, right? And by the time I got
when
there, there was already
sleeping on a Saturday morning.
On a Saturday morning,
you don't walk.
There was already a long ass queue by the time I got there, by the way. So I joined the queue. Yep, I joined the queue, but the fuel station that day was not selling. They were not selling in kegs, so you just fill your car and you go. And they were also not taking card, so only cash. So basically,
right? they've gated it. They've shed people off.
So if you don't have cash, obviously you cannot buy. Also, if you want to buy in your kegs, you obviously cannot do that. So it was very quick. The line moved swiftly. By like past 8 to 9, I'd gotten fuel. I was out of there, right? 2 weeks later, again, Saturday morning, I go same fuel station, same location.
Oh my God.
I go queue. I get there around the same time, past 6. You know, there's also a queue by the time I got there. When I tell you that, I did not leave there until like past 12, past noon. Like almost 6 hours, over 6 hours later.
Same station.
Now, same station. Do you not know what happened? So the manager of the fuel station had come out because in those 2 weeks, Nigeria has undergone some transformations, aka Naira had become scarce. And CBN had said, the Central Bank of Nigeria had said that, like, you know, certain notes that had been redesigned would no longer be legal tender.
Yep.
Right? So people had gone to go deposit their cash in hopes of getting the new notes, but they were not getting the new notes. And the banks are saying they don't have enough of the new notes. Cash. CBN is saying that they've given them enough new notes. So we don't know who's lying. So you don't know who is lying. And like, you know, I also went to use the ATM and it still gave me old notes, which I thought was weird, you know. So in those 2 weeks, that had now become a thing. So Naira had become scarce. And now while Naira had become scarce, because as people don't have access to cash, that means they're having to use the other channels. So digital, online, bank apps, which means those channels were getting higher loads than usual, which means that they were not functioning, they were crashing and shit all the time.
They're not even
people
reliable.
Could not transfer money, POS, ATMs, like all that shit was not working. There was just all kinds of chaos.
Yeah.
So the management of the fuel station come out, they have a conversation with the drivers that are there, you know, the car owners and stuff. They're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. If you have cash, perfect. If you don't have cash, we'll accept cards. But if there is a maybe like the POS declines, or maybe you receive a debit, or it shows in the machine that it's declined, then like whatever issue that arises, you go sort it with the bank. Like you will not hold back operations at the fuel station because of that.
That sounds like a fair.
Right? It makes sense. So they start on this premise. This fuel station has 2 entrances. After a while, they start, because Nigerians are the problems of Nigeria.
Period.
They start allowing people that are not on the queue.
Yeah, bypass.
Start entering through the other entrance. Now, some of these people that came into the other entrance were not aware of the previous original agreement that was made before they started selling fuel at all. So now, somebody says they are going to use POS. They buy fuel, a lot of fuel, apparently, maybe like 25 grand or something like that, right? And the stupid fuel attendant sells the fuel before using their card to collect their own money, right?
Card decline.
So the card now decline. It now becomes a whole thing. As that happens, it happens again in another pump. So there's now 2 cases. So they are now dragging it. I can't know. You know, so it then becomes a thing for almost an hour. No fuel is being sold. No money is exchanging hands. We are all just here because these people have decided to move crazy. After plenty begging, everything. Because at one point, the fuel station people were like, you know, we are not even selling again.
So, I was going to say, didn't they do that? Because like at the end of the day, by the time they they just close the gates, turn off everything, at least.
I'm
plus card, plus cash. Everybody will find somewhere to go. Because Nigerians can be very crazy.
So after a lot of pleading and everything, they agree, and then we revert back to the original agreement. And that was when eventually I was not able to like get in the queue. Even when I got in the queue, right, the car in front of me and this Baba, you've been in front of me all day on the queue. So, in fact, at one point he left the queue, said he wanted to go look for cash, right? That when he comes back, that he's in front of me, I should keep his space. I'm like, okay, cool. So he came back, whatever. So while we're waiting, while they were having that whole issue, he took kegs from his car. I went to buy in the fuel station. So he had bought 3 kegs with the cash that he had. So when it was his time to buy fuel, he used POS, right? He used his card. So he had even bought fuel already. So what was happening was the fuel station guys were like, oh, they are not selling in kegs for like just individuals that just come with kegs, because that would just create like another line.
But
if you have a car and there's a keg in the car, they'll sell for the keg. So a guy comes that like, oh, like he's talking to the man like, I should please let him put his keg in his car so he can buy fuel. So he puts the keg in the car. Right? Now the guy that came with the keg has cash.
Okay.
Right? Mind you, the flight attendant had been screaming from the top of our voice that no cash back. Like if you put in your card in the ATM that, oh, you want to buy 10,000 Naira fuel and maybe it's only 8,000 Naira that fills your tank or whatever container you come with, like she's not going to give you 2,000 Naira cash. Again, because there's no cash.
There's no cash.
Sure you get. So she had been screaming this. Now, but they didn't finish selling the keg guys fuel, right?
Bro, this story.
Then he now pays the fuel attendant with cash, right? Then Baba is now saying that the guy should give him the cash, right? And the fuel attendant should
use his
card to pay for the guy's keg. And she's like, no, I'm not going to fucking do that. And the guy just starts creating a scene. He's like, God will judge you. One thing that he told her before. This one, that one, that one. Like another 15, 20 minutes we did there. This Papa just be going now.
Meanwhile, he bought already.
Meanwhile, he has already bought 3 kegs. He has already filled his car up. Also, you could have just told the keg guy that like, okay, guy, I'll pay with my card. Give me the cash. Like the full attendant is not going to come and hold your hand to do that. But not after he has paid. He has given her the cash already. You're not making it sense. Shasha, Baba went with his wala. I paid. I bought fuel. I eventually left the place. So,
what a saga!
What a saga indeed! A story in 4 parts.
What a saga! This saga, it choke.
I'm telling you, it was crazy. So, some of my colleagues like that have drivers, like they can send their drivers to go queue for fuel. Yeah. But like people that don't have that opportunity, right? People that do Ubers, like public transport is now more expensive because these people have to queue for fuel, or you buy on black market.
That's where I was even going to. Like, I think
which might be dangerous to your vehicle.
I don't even mind. Actually, I mind, right? Black market is ridiculous, crazy. But like the one that busts my head the most is when you would see them in front of the filling station selling the fuel. And like the filling station is closed, but the black market guys, so black markets are people who have the fuel in kegs and then they sell for you at almost 3 times the price. We also don't know the source of you don't know the source. They might have gone to mix it with water. I know I've heard stories of people who bought this kind of fuel and like they had like their
engine knocked or like off. Serious damage.
It's just like if the filling station is right behind, why are there black market guys in front selling at 3 times the price and the filling station is closed? Because they went to get it from the filling station.
Do you know why? Because we're in Nigeria. This is the only place shit like this happens, bro. Like, it is crazy. So, yeah, the fuel situation is insane.
And across different states, it's different prices.
Yep. But like, what is consistent is just queues. There's queues everywhere. So, the impact of that is like, we can't talk about it enough. Like, we can't exhaust it on this podcast. Like, we are even like in a more privileged section of Nigerian society. That like we have certain tools that makes our lives easier and like shields us a little bit from the more extreme impacts of these situations like this fuel scarcity and Naira, whatever. So, but like the people that don't have that, like, it's crazy. Like people that, you know, need their generators to like run their sewing machines or run their barber shops or, you know, pump water to sell or like, you know,
They will have to
different
go and
things.
queue in the filling station.
You
They are not
get-
even product. Like they can't even make
Think about the amount of man hours
revenue.
that are wasted queuing, time that people could be spent being productive,
something
contributing
else.
to the economy. They are wasting it fucking queuing for fuel.
You
In a
queue for
country-
fuel,
That we
then you go to the bank and queue for cash. that
that leads us into the second
is the
part.
second part, and it's so crazy because all of these things are happening at the same time. I think before we even leave the fuel thing, right? The fact that whoever it is, the government that has put us in this situation, still have somebody that they are contesting for and people are campaigning for them is just ridiculous because
Yes, if you people did not know, by the way, all of this is happening in the backdrop of
there is an election.
elections happening
in the next-
on February 25th in the next couple of weeks.
So
Like, and it's the same. The incumbent government also has a candidate, or the party of the incumbent government is also still campaigning for
Yes,
the
now.
next election. While they are like, while the country is in shit, they are still like, no, trust us with your votes.
No. These people bust my head.
We
Do you
got
know
this.
the one I heard that busted my head? He said, let them hold the Naira. Let them hold the fuel. We will still win. And I'm like, what does it mean by let them? It's you, like, it's your party. Like, are you whining me? Which one is let them?
He was saying it as if like, you know, it was like another country that it was happening.
Like, let them. So, like, to the Naira one, I went to the bank which day, a couple of days ago to do something. And I went to Union Bank's head office. Union Bank's head office, there's never queue because, like, there are so many floors. It's big. Like, it's not like those other branches. Obviously,
That's
the head
smaller.
office is the head office, right?
Yeah.
So, things move. So, tell me why I go to the gate and I see like 3-4 policemen. I see like the security guard. People are just gathered there, like, struggling to enter. And then, you know, I'm hearing, I want to collect cash. I'm hearing, I want to use the ATM. Da, 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 da. So I go there and I'm like, I want to do X, Y, Z. The postman is like, no, I should go.
Go get the fork.
They rubbish me. They say I should get
Your
like,
old
can't I see?
Benzo.
Can't I see people sitting? Now pointed at the car park. See canopy, see people there, just bare people sitting there under the sun
Just wasting away
because they want to come and collect cash.
their own money. It's their own. No, it's not as if like they came to collect loan from the bank. Like, it's their money that is in the bank. They just want to just collect it and go about their lives.
Hey. I went to collect money from POS and point of sale people. One of them point of sale agents.
Yeah.
10,000 Naira, 2,000 on top of it.
That
Which
is-
means I
which
paid.
used to cost how
So
much
basically,
before?
it used to cost like I think
200.
200. Like if it's
200.
200, right?
200.
Which
If it is 20k to be 400.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so these
It's
charges they
100
are
naira
like
for every 5.
exactly. So they are adding the charges obviously because it's a transaction and they would the payment processor will remove the certain percent. So that's why they add
The
amount.
charges,
So why am I paying 2,000 Naira to collect 10,000 Naira? Mind you, of the old
times
notes,
10.
not
Or
new
still
notes.
the old notes, not
Or
even the
the
new
old
notes.
notes, not the-
which is what you really need.
which is
because
what I need.
the old notes are officially no longer legal tender as of today. What's today?
As of yesterday, today is 11th.
Today is 11th, yeah. As of yesterday, the 10th. So, yeah. So,
Like currently, as I'm speaking to you, I still do not have access to the cash. Like when I was in the bank, I was hearing like people talking about give me collect, withdraw for me. Like just people trying to like just find a way to get the cash. I'm like, babe, people just there waiting. Mind you, by the time I got to the bank, I got there like around 12 and there were like a lot of people. The bank is going to close by 4, which means at least
all those
more
people
than
are going to be
half of they are not going to be
attended to for
attended
sure.
to
So they'll come back again
tomorrow.
So they will probably spend a couple days.
Trying to get maybe 2,000 Naira or 3,000 Naira. Or see,
Then when they finish getting the 5,000 naira, they're not going to queue again for fuel. Fucking hell.
do you understand?
What is this
Do you understand?
place?
Apart from that, they will now go and buy what to eat, and then it's now 2 times what they normally pay.
Because the food is also more expensive and inflation is still crazy.
In
like,
the middle of all
in the
of
middle
this.
of all this shit. Like,
I beg. You know what? Let's just tell people. You know what to do. We cannot not get it right this time.
Yes,
Nigerians, please.
Yes, please.
Choose your fighter.
Yes.
Do you want to stay on the queue for long?
You
Forever?
want to be eating corn? Do you want to spend 8 years in university?
No.
You know? Do you want to blah blah? You know? Yeah,
No, but like, really, please, we need to use our
We
voice.
need to get it right, man. Like, please get your PVC. Like, I mean, I don't know if you can still get it now, but like,
vote.
If we cannot vote, even if you're not able to vote, campaign, support, like retweet, share, like stand for something, man. Like we can't, like we just can't. It's too. We're in such a terrible. I mean, we already spoke about it a lot during the elections episode that we did. Go check that out, by the way, if you haven't. But like, there are just so many things that are wrong with the country at the same time, and like we are just in such a bad place that like we can't afford rock and hard place again. Like when we have,
there's no point. There's no time for that.
Like a very clear, different option. Like
just
we really need to like get more involved, because one thing that has also stood out to me in this election cycle and just all the conversation around it is just like, by and large, Nigerian populace is still extremely undereducated as far as like politics and like how government works, what it is, who's responsible for what, who they can hold accountable for what. Like everybody just talks president. But like, see, if you go and vote for your local government chairman, vote for your state governor, your state house of reps, vote for your senators. These people are the ones that like they are all involved. Do you get? Like the president cannot, for all intents and purposes, cannot like necessarily lord certain things over them. Do you get? In fact, sometimes, a lot of times, he has to get approval from the Senate, from the House of Reps. Do you get? So
I think that
we have to like, if you are Nigerian and you're listening to this, I don't give a fuck if you're in the diaspora, wherever it is you are, right? You owe a responsibility, at least if you give any iota of shit about your country or your heritage and all that stuff, you owe a personal responsibility to learn about how this country works, how the government, the constitution, all that shit. Like, I'm not saying become an expert and start going on TV shows to speak on it or holding, panel or whatever, but educate yourself enough to contribute, to participate. Do you get? Find out your way of voting, your polling unit is, your ward, who is your local government chairman, who is your LCDA, who is your councillor at the LCDA level. Do you get? Like, all these things are very, very important. Okay? The best democracies or the best, societies that we want to emulate in the world, they all have an element of that citizens' participation in shaping the destiny of their country. So, get your PVC. Make sure you vote. If you are not able to vote for whatever reason, pick a side. All right.
I think that one of the lies that politicians have told Nigerians is that their voice does not matter, or like, they can't do shit to them. Number one. Number two, I think they've also told them that like they've also made them feel like they're doing them a favor. But no, we are actually like these politicians or these people who are in the political positions, they are working for us. We are paying their like they have a duty.
We literally pay their salary.
We pay their salary, so they have a duty
at least if you
to
pay tax. There's not a lot of
exactly.
pay tax.
So they have a duty to us or to Nigerians to do right by Nigerians, right? And they make it look like they are doing us a favor, and then they make it look like, oh, your voice does not matter. But if you look at it, your voice and your PVC matters. That's why they rigged the election.
Yeah, that's why they don't want you to vote.
That's why they don't want you to vote. That's why they make it as hard as it
that's
can
why they
be
make
for
the processes
you.
complex, and all the laws are just wonky and funny. And
when I was going to the bank,
it's by design.
I took Uber, and the Uber driver was telling me about how, for him, he's voting for different people based on what he sees as their track record.
He's voting based on the candidate.
Yes, not the
party
exactly
that the candidate is from, which is another issue that Nigerians have.
Yes,
like,
so
APC, I vote APC president,
because of
governor, Senate, House of Rep, State House of Rep, everything. You just vote APC, even though maybe out of all those 8 options, there's only one person that actually knows their shit. But just because they are in the same party, you just vote that party. Sorry, I cut you off. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I can't remember what I was gonna say, but my point is that like they make it look like, oh, you don't have like a voice, or like, oh, you're doing them a favor.
We're talking about your Uber driver.
Yeah, like that. He said, okay, yeah, my Uber driver said he's gonna vote for different people. Like, he's not voting for parties, he's voting for the people, right? Like, he's going to vote for Peter Obi because XYZ is going to vote for, Lagos governor, or whatever. Anyways, my point is that when he was telling me about how he went to get his PVC, he was telling me about how he had to walk it to get his PVC. Like, the polling unit is one politician's house, and they were only allowing. He had to walk it to be able to get his PVC.
Which means that he had to finesse it.
Yes,
he had to go through some.
Yes, he had
not entirely legal means.
Yeah, so he said he had gone a couple of times, queued. He couldn't like receive it, so he had access to somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And the polling unit is at a politician's house. Now,
nothing wrong with that.
Thank you very much. The point is, they only allow a certain tribe of people to like vote in, like that polling unit is only for a certain tribe. So he was telling me that, because he's from this tribe, so they gave him, not knowing that he's not voting for. He's not going to vote for the tribe, for the candidate is his tribe. Yes, but that he was able to like get it. That he's just happy that I was able to get it through that maze. That, but he's going to vote for the person he wants to vote for. But the point I'm trying to make is that like they know. Do you understand? Like they know that your voice and in the numbers, they know it works. That's why they are trying to make it as difficult as it can be.
Like a lot of times, maybe now in hindsight, maybe I'd even admit, maybe perhaps unfairly, Nigerians can be infuriating. Like Nigerians, they can just be so anyhow and just all over the place and just so badly behaved. Sometimes they're just like, what the fuck, man? But sometimes I also catch myself like understanding them in a way, because I just feel like I can, because that like they are intentionally not educated. They're intentionally not exposed. Like, it's not like they don't want to be better. Like,
they don't know any better.
Exactly. Like, we saw that video of that market woman. I don't know if you saw that video. There was a market woman, somebody was asking, doing an interview, I was asking her like, oh, who is she gonna vote? And she was like, she's gonna vote Tinubu. And the person was like, oh, why Tinubu? Like, why not Peter Obi? And she's like, oh, that Peter Obi is good though. That she thinks he will do good things, but like you should wait for Tinubu to do 8 years first. Then
not even 4.
Not 4. 8 years first, then he can now. And she was saying this, like her surroundings was little abject poverty. Like she was saying this in the midst of, she said the 8 years as if like,
it's just gonna come and
like she didn't say it as if that 8 years are going to, like whatever Tinubu does in those 8 years will affect her life like directly. Like she just, it's as if she didn't, like that was not a concept to her. Do you get? So that kind of woman, like, right? And there are many Nigerians that also share similar sentiments, right? So that kind of woman, like, she just does not know better. Do you get? And it is by design. The reason why they don't, all these governments and all these politicians, the reason why they don't invest in education, the reason why they don't invest in healthcare, the reason why they don't invest in the things that actually reduce poverty levels, reduce unemployment levels, stop fuel scarcity, and, make people be able to access their own fucking money. The reason why they do all those things is to keep people in that state of mind of, why should I vote? They'll probably rig it anyways.
Because when people
let me collect
are
this
out
rice.
of that,
this person, let me just vote for the party. They came to our area the other day and they came to come and give us 2,000 naira. Like, is to maintain that status quo and make sure that like people are not, demanding better for themselves. And that's why anytime people try to demand better, they respond with such extreme force. In the midst of all this fuel scarcity and Naira situation, there have been riots, or rather protests. Let me not say riots, because the government sources will say riots, but they were protests. They did not become violent until police people got involved in Ibadan and Abeokuta. So it's like, anytime people express their displeasure, rightfully,
they just
they come with
Respond
such
with
force because
force.
it's like, you're stepping out of line. Why are people stepping
You need
out
to
of
not
line? You need
have
to-
sense, but Nigerians
Yes.
have
That's
sense.
the thing. That's the thing. That's if there's if
Have
if you want to
sense,
use
guys.
one word to define, like one word that defines the quintessential Nigerian: resilience. Like no matter what thing they happen, we go find way.
Fine way.
Right? Like maybe it's this journey to a better country. Waka is taking us maybe 40 years, it's taking us a long fucking long time, right? But when you look at that on the scale of like other countries in the world, like the USA is like 400 years old. Do you get? UK is like only God knows how many 100 years old. Do you get? There are countries that have been there from time and they've had loads of time to like fuck up, get it right, fuck up again, get it right, to get to the levels of sophistication that they can be at now. Do you get? So like Nigerians know they agree. We'll like sooner or later, and that's level of eye openness. That our eye, we don't know what made tear.
You go tear. You don't dey tear now. You don't dey tear.
You don't dey tear.
You don't
already.
don't already tear. I feel like we need to just get it right this time. Like whatever is going to happen in this election is going to either make or mar Nigeria, and I just hope that Nigerians understand that this is no games.
It's no games.
It's no games. It's my future. It's your future.
It's your children's
everybody's
future. Your generation, your family line, your generation.
No place like home.
And you people know Nigerians. People know people like having children, plenty children.
No, they will start.
All those children are going to suffer.
They will say one child. They will say one
thing.
child per family. But yeah, that's it. Like we just need to get it right. We can't be having this kind of issues. Naira redesign, fuel scarcity, close to like another election in the next 4 years. That would just be ridiculous. That means that we never get sense. But I hope we get it right. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Sorry that this one was a bit of a rant, but
I'm sure
it was a bit of a rant with like some nice vibes and some banter going on there. So thank you so much for riding with us, for joining us. We appreciate it and we love every single one of you. Thank you so much for your support.
So much.
It means a lot to us. Do you have any recommendations for the people?
Yes. Actually, it's your recommendation.
No, don't steal my recommendation. You absolutely cannot steal my recommendation.
So, my recommendation is, if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings,
oh my God,
the trilogy,
Women Has Come,
you should go and see it on Amazon Prime. Akinari, what's your recommendation?
You are mad. You are very, very mad.
It's both our recommendation. Like, what's your problem? Oh yeah, speak on it.
Okay, I'll give you something else. Seriously though, go watch Lord of the Rings. It's a classic movie. It's long though, let me give you a heads up. Like each one is like, there are 3 parts and each one is like 3 hours. So
I don't think, have I seen the third part?
No, you've not seen the third part, but just be ready. But my other recommendation will be a YouTube channel called Corridor Crew. They host a bunch of shows like VFX artists react, stuntwomen react, and it's basically they just talk to experts in Hollywood, stuntmen, visual effects artists, visual arts, artistic directors. They've had the guy that worked on Love, Death and Robots. They've had the guys that worked on Black Panther, like all the big movies, and they like talk about behind the scenes, how it works, what they do, some of the movie trickery that goes on. So if that's your cup of tea, check out Corridor Crew on YouTube. And this is not a sponsored segment. Although, if you want to sponsor this segment, send us an email at theshrinepodcast@gmail.com. Also, you can reach out to us on social media, give us a follow, share our clips.
Don't worry, I'll do it for free.
Okay.
I personally would do it for free. You don't need to pay.
You can find us.
We have people listening to us from all over. I mean, we gave the start of the podcast in the 2022 recap. So
Oh God.
Speak to us.
So yes, you can hit us up on Twitter at The Shrine Pod or on Instagram at theshrine.pod. And yeah, if you also have thoughts around, let us look. In fact, you know what? Give us the gist. What crazy things have you done to access some Naira or to get some fuel? Or like, how are you feeling about these elections? Let us know. Please, guys, we really, really, truly want to hear from you. Send us your questions, your thoughts, your feedback, your critique, all of it.
Everything.
Let's have it, okay?
We can take it.
As always, till next time, peace out!
Adios.